There are three separate cleaning processes. There's a dry process, a wet process, some also call the wet process a wet to dry, and then there's a combination or a hybrid process. So if you're counting, actually it could be four separate processes. A dry, a wet to dry, and a combination. We put the wet and the wet to dry in one category. We're looking at a 2.5 millimeter end face, and just to review, here is your core, cladding, your ferrule. This is a vertical side of the ferrule. As we're looking at this particular jumper, this particular end face, there's a feature here, a smudge. And this all belies the importance of looking at the end face, no matter which way you decide to clean it, before you clean and then after, so you can determine what's soil and what isn't. This scope is unique in that we can scroll out to the edge and actually observe what becomes the horizontal part of the ferrule. Later in this discussion, these two surfaces will become important in the topic. So this particular jumper is pretty clean. And now I use a Sharpie marker because the pigment in Sharpie is carbon black, which is exhaust. Now we've made it pretty dirty. And again, as we scroll out to the side, you can see how, to one extent or another, we've soiled the end face. In this particular image, the dark pigment here represents a non-ionic soil. Could be buffer gel or pulling lube. The lint from the pen here, these spots, represent sand or dust. There are a number of different dry cleaning methods. There are cassettes of different designs. Designs like these don't have platens underneath them, so you're cleaning on a hard surface. Some of the probe tools could be considered dry cleaning tools, as well as precision swabs, whether they're 2.5 millimeter, some designs for MDUs, some for 1.25. All of these could be dry cleaning products. Dry cleaning is a good process for one type of a soil, if it were an oily soil, if it were a fingerprint. But when you're viewing a soil like this complex soil, dry cleaning may not work the best. So here's a cassette, twist, turn, draw, twist, turn, draw, and what we see is that what we've done is we've begun to remove some soil, but we certainly haven't removed all of it. And this extends once again out to the edge of the vertical ferrule. Another way to do this would be perhaps with one of the probe type tools. This is called a one-click. And the one-click, once again, just transfers the soil. Here's another probe type tool. Now we're at our third cleaning. If you'll recall, Tia would let us go up to 5. Once again, all we've done is transfer the soil. The product is called a cube, lint-free wiper. This is an important strength test. When you're using a wiper, you don't want it to tear like paper. Your cleaning surface should be soft, compliant, so that if there is sand or dust on the end face, we're not going to scratch it. And the dry cleaning method on the larger platform, 1, 2, 3, begins to remove it, but this is a totally unsatisfactory process. So unless you're looking at each soil, unless you're looking at each contaminant, it's very difficult to know if you've actually cleaned it. This is the dry cleaning process. It tends to move and not remove soils. It tends to create a static field that can actually create more dust or bring more soil to the end face. And if this were a sandy, gritty contaminant, it certainly could damage the core, damage the cladding. Dry cleaning. It can work, but it requires a great deal of attention and multiple applications.